Welcome back to Project 613. Today we are going to learn one mitzvah, and that is in continuation to what we learned yesterday about nosar. Nosar literally means leftovers, and we were talking about leftover meat from sacrificial offerings that was left past its designated time. We learned yesterday that it's forbidden to leave meat from the offerings after the designated time that the Torah gives them. And if one does, that is considered nosar. But today's mitzvah is a separate prohibition, and that is, let's say someone did leave over this meat in violation of the mitzvah that we learned yesterday, then the Torah tells us it's forbidden to eat from this meat. Now, depending on which sacrifice we're talking about will depend on when it gets the status of nosar. In general, there are two different categories within the sacrifices. There's something called koche kochim, the more holy level of sacrificial offerings, and there's something called kochim kalim, the lower level of sacrificial offerings. The higher level of offerings could be eaten only the day they are brought and the following night, whereas the lower level of sanctity offerings could be eaten the day they are brought, the following night, and the following day. So therefore, when it comes to this category of offerings, they would only have the status of nosar if they are left over from day 3 and on, whereas the higher level of offerings would become nosar already from the second day. And once the meat of this offering is in the category of nosar, if it had been left over, then it's forbidden to eat from it. Now, interestingly, this mitzvah is not stated clearly in the verse. We do not have a verse that clearly states that it's forbidden to eat the leftover meat. Rather, we know this prohibition by way of kal vachomer, which is a logical principle by which we could derive a more obvious thing that is not stated from a less obvious thing that is stated. And in our case, the less obvious thing that is stated is that the Torah tells us clearly that one who eats nosar receives a certain punishment. Well, then obviously there is a more obvious thing that is not stated, and that is that it's forbidden to eat the nosar. If the Torah tells us that one who eats nosar is punished, then for sure it is forbidden to eat from nosar. So that's how we know that this is a mitzvah altogether. So this is known as the mitzvah, this is the prohibition of eating the leftover meat from the sacrificial offerings past its allotted time. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.